Greetings fellow Vita fans, this is James, PS Vita at 2 AM, coming at you once again with another exciting video. And we reached that time of the week yesterday, and now it looks like we reached that time of the month today. And yeah, you can insert your own innuendo right here. We've made it to the end of the month. It is time to once again count down all of the upcoming PlayStation Vita releases for the month of June. 2019. Can you feel the excitement? Hopefully I've revved you all up enough, or, cringed you out, whichever. And keep in mind as always everyone, that these are the announced games for the month of June so far. Gotta use a little asterisk there. As we all know, games are constantly getting announced for the PlayStation Vita, sometimes during the middle of the month, sometimes only a few days apart. And I'm even expecting Limited Run to have some pretty nifty announcements this E3. So just keep in mind that this is what has been announced thus far. But stay tuned because I will be keeping you up to date on all of the new PlayStation Vita releases. So what are we waiting for? Let's get on to the games. First on the chopping block we have a game called Diary Plus. And I suppose you can tell from the visuals on here that it is indeed a visual novel. Well, that sounds like a real novel idea. Oh, come on, I can't be the first person that's ever said a bad pun like that. I'm afraid so. One good thing I can say about this title is that it doesn't seem to be an Otome release, which there do seem to be quite a bit of on the PlayStation Vita. Not that I have any problems with that, because we all know I'm a Code Realized fanboy. I dream of that game nightly. So if you're looking for a game with lots and lots of waifus, this one has you covered. Why, hello ladies. Your Diary Plus will be releasing on June 27th in Japan as both a retail release and a digital release, and will even include a limited edition version. Now we have KonoSuba, God's Blessing on This Wonderful World, and my most highly anticipated game for the month of June. Why am I so excited about this? Well, not only is it based off of the very extremely popular and quite hilarious anime, but it's a dungeon crawling RPG. And this late into the Vita's lifespan, the fact that we're getting a new one of those, it gets me all hot and bothered. KonoSuba, God's Blessing on This Wonderful World. If you're a fan of the anime, or maybe haven't seen it, I highly recommend doing so, and picking up the game too while you're at it. Unfortunately, I highly doubt this will be coming over to the West due to licensing issues, but hey, we can always hope. The title in question will be releasing also on June 27th, as both a retail release and a digital release in Japan, and will also have a limited edition version. Now let's talk about Yumeutsutsu Remaster. Well, I can read the remaster part at least. Just barely though. This is a title that is also not a visual novel. It's the reverse of that. And the women would not be interested in me whatsoever. And if you don't know what I'm trying to hint at you, there's lots of women. And I think there's only women. And they kind of got the hots for one another. Do I need to paint more of a picture than that? Looks like we got a little booty action going on here. Okay, before this video gets a bit too hot for YouTube, yep, this is in fact a Yuri release. A Yuri visual novel, that is. I mean, they usually are. And you can pick up Yumeutsutsu Remaster in Japan on June 13th as a retail release and a digital release. And as you expected, yep, it's also going to be available as a limited edition. Now we have a game that, well, quite frankly, I have no idea what kind of game we have here. This upcoming release is called Bouncy Bullets, and unfortunately I wasn't able to find any gameplay on it, sorry, or even any info on it for that matter. That was a really big epic fail. In fact, the only thing I was able to find on it is just stock images. Yay! One of which kind of teases us that it'd be a physical release, even though I know it's definitely not going to be. And this trophy list link here. Now, what I will say is that whatever this game ends up being, trophy hunters might want to check this out, because if you look at it, it has no bronze, a ton of gold, silver, and even a platinum. Oh. It's one of those games, huh? And just judging by the art on this game, I'm assuming that it's going to be quite an easy platinum. No confirmation of that, but I'm just assuming. So whenever I do find any info on this, like any info at all, and hopefully some gameplay, I'll do a separate video on it sometime later in June. Scout's honor, even though I'm not a scout. And speaking of which, Bouncy Bullets will be available at an unspecified date in both North America and Europe this June. And now, as they say, it is time for the pièce de résistance. And yeah, if you saw my May 2019 video, you probably are scratching your head at this title. Yep, Ultracore has been delayed until June. Now for those new to the PlayStation Vita, Ultracore just isn't a cool snazzy looking shmup game that is really cool enough to even have my baby, but also has an interesting history about it. Believe it or not, this title was originally supposed to be released sometime in the mid-90s. Yep, you heard me right. Unfortunately, however, due to the rise in 3D technology back in the 90s, gamers were starting to lose interest in 2D games. This title was supposed to be releasing on the Sega Genesis, among other consoles. However, because the interest was focusing more in on 3D games, this title was 99% completed but was then scrapped and cancelled because it was, well, 2D. However, somebody got their hands on a dev unit, were able to salvage the game, and the current developers even used original Sega Mega Drive hardware in order to finish the last 1% of the game. And thus, we have Ultracore, a very highly anticipated game indeed. This game will be available as a digital release for the PlayStation Vita sometime in June in both North America and Europe. Oh, and we were originally supposed to have a physical release that was going to be coming from Strictly Limited Games that sadly got cancelled. However, I have a feeling this isn't the last we've heard from the physical release. I'll just say that. Yeah, I'm pretty good at foreshadowing. Well, as Porky Pig said back on Looney Tunes, that's all, folks. Yeah, how many people are old enough to actually remember that reference? So let me know, guys, what did you think about this month? I gotta say, not too bad, actually. Only a few visual novels, and hopefully we'll find out what Bouncy Bullets is, even though I'm not expecting a whole lot, but hey, you never know. Might be turned up to be a sleeper hit. But let me know what you guys think. Leave me your feedback down below. I'd love to hear from you. And as always, fellow Vita fans, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. It really means a lot to me. Love you all, and I'll see you next time. The following content has been brought to you in part by all of these wonderfully generous people over at Patreon, including Phantom XRS, Saul Ramirez, Kyle Brooks, JR, E-Rock, Pierce Sterner, Adam Thury, Skulcher Tugel TCG, BMF, Ruben Gutierrez, Joshua Williams, Jared Haddo, Kevin Enright, Heston Joseph, and Aaron Swanson. If you yourself would like to support the channel, check the links down in the description below. I have a number of exclusive perks available for backers. And while you're doing that, I'm gonna go count my pennies and see if I'm gonna have enough money left for any of these upcoming releases. Limited Run Games took all my money this past Friday, but I have to have those Vita games. I gotta catch them all! Hashtag copyright for that.